So let's look at how we work with stem and leaf diagrams. So they're called that because they kind of look like branches off a tree with leaves on. So it's just a way of organizing the data. So it's a bit like a graph, but more of a chart, if we like. So typically, to do a stem and leaf, you're going to need to do it twice. I'll explain why. So here we have the ages of 14 adults, and we're going to put those into this chart. The first thing we need to decide on is our key. So basically what we're going to do in this situation is we're going to split off the first part of the number, the tens part, from the units part. So for example, if I take the first age here, which is 42, so 42 on our diagram will look like this, because the 4 part will be the label on the front of the diagram and the 2 will be what we have after that. Okay, so the first time round of drawing this, we're going to need to just do them as they come to make sure that we don't miss anything. So we do our line and then we have a look through to see what their numbers all start with. So I can't see anything that starts with less than 3, so 3 is the first one. Then there's definitely a 4 and a 5. I'm just double checking to see if there was a 6, but I can't see a 6. If there was, I could always add it. So now what we're going to do is just go along one by one and put the numbers in. So 42, we've already got the 40 part here, so we just write the 2. Now normally if I was doing this, I would now strike out, I haven't done it through the number, I would strike it out so that I knew which ones I'd done and which ones I haven't. For today I'm just going to tick over the top. So 35, so 3, 5, 56, 39, 40, 51, 47, 38, 42, 55, 42, 48, 49, 41. Now it tells us here that there were 14, so it's a good idea to count up your diagram and make sure you still got 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so now I'm going to need to draw that diagram again, and the reason why we're doing it twice here is because the first time round I was more worried about getting them in the right places. This time what I've got to do is make sure that these are all in order of their number. So instead of 5, 9, 8 at the top there, I want 5, 8, 9. And then here, 0's our first one, and then 1, and you can tick these off as well if you want to. And then I've got 1, 2, 3 2's to come next. Then we've got a 7, 8 and a 9. And then finally we've got 6, 1, 5, so that needs to be 1, 5, 6. So that's our finished diagram, along with presenting the key with it so that people can understand it. Okay, so that's why you end up usually doing it twice, so that you focus the first time on just getting them in the right places and the second time in getting them in the right order. If you try and do both at the same time, often people get muddled up. So let's look at another example. Oops, sorry. Okay, so this is Helen's dart scores we're going to do this time. Okay, so we've got similar sort of looking numbers, so we're going to do a similar key. So the 55 we're going to split out like this, so a score of 55 will be written like that. So our first version I'm going to do here. Now this time we do have a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. That's it. So 55, 23, 48, 29, 41, 47, 36, 35, 40, 35, 44, 34, and 35. So now let's do it again, but reordered. So if they've already drawn you a line and whatnot on your paper, then use that for the finished one rather than the first one. So 2, they happen to be in the right order anyway, but here we need the 4 first, then the 3 5s, and then the 6. Here we need 0, 1, 4, 7, 8, and then last of all that one's just got a 5. So common questions that they might then go on to ask you once you've drawn this is to work out, in this case it's asking for the mode. So we're looking for the most common. So because of the way we've done the diagram, that should pop out quite easily. So we can see here's our most common because we've got a whole bunch of 5s. But remember that those 5s aren't really 5s, they're 35. So the mode is 35. And then it asks us to work out the range, and again we've got some of the work done for us because the biggest number is at the bottom here and the smallest number is at the top. So we've got 55 take away 23, which is going to leave us with 32. Okay, final example. This one is about numbers of people visiting a cafe every day for 11 days. So you notice we've got some longer numbers here. So actually in terms of the key, which they've already done for us, look, you can see we're taking the first 2 numbers off the front and just leaving the last one. So pretty much typically every time you're only going to have single digits this side. So if it's got more, it goes the other side. So 104 is 10 over here and 4 here. Okay, so we're going to look at our numbers again, and this is the pretty one, so we're going to save that. So I'm going to use this space to do the first version. So we're going to start with 10. And we need to go 11, 12, 13. Have we got 14? No. So it's 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'll put these in down here as well. Ready? But we're going to do the rough version first. So 104, 131, 120. 115, 109, 124, 128, 118, 116, 120, and 125. And now let's rearrange them. So the top one was right anyway. And 586 needs to become 568. Here we've got 2 zeros to go first, then 4, then 5, then 8, and last of all 13 just has the 1 there. Okay, so first of all it's asking us to find out the mode. So again, it should jump out at you that this is the only one that's got 2 the same in the same row. So remember, it's not 0 but 120, the mode. Now the next thing it's asking us for is the median. So the median is literally the middle one once we've put our numbers in order. Well, these numbers are now all in order. So there were 11 of them. There are 11 days. So the middle one will be what we get if we do 11 plus 1, which gives us 12, and divide by 2. Then the sixth one in the list is the one that we're looking for. I know some of you like to do the crossing from both ends. That can be dodgy sometimes because people sometimes forget what is in what order and get it wrong that way. So if you work out which position it's supposed to be in, that saves that bother. So you, for an odd number like we've got, you add 1 and divide by 2, and that tells you where to go. So we want the sixth one. So we've got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So the sixth one is 120. So the mode and the median were the same. And then finally it's asking us for the range. So the biggest one is here, 131. And the smallest one is at the top there, the first one, 104. So we take that away, we're going to get 27 for our range. So that is stem and leaf diagrams.